going to share with you today a strategy for your business to sustain your business in the long run. Having a yoga business and doing what you do, you are sitting on a total gold mine, okay? And you probably don't even realize it. Or maybe you do realize it, but you haven't quite mustered up the courage yet to really fully unlock your potential and give your yoga business the attention and the strategy that it deserves, really. And maybe you've been focusing on the challenges of building a business. So numbers dwindling, for example, right? Maybe you've been focusing on those challenges. And of course, starting an online business, any online business, comes with its fair share of challenges. And then we have external factors, don't we? So for instance, we've had a big one these last few years coming out of this pandemic, which wasn't that long ago. The current, economic situation off the back of the pandemic. All of these external factors makes, the challenges of running a business or makes an online business, trying to get one set up, even more daunting. We live in this ever-changing landscape, especially online. There's so much happening at such a fast rate. Things can shift very rapidly. So in order to really survive, we have to be willing and ready to adapt. And we saw that a few years ago, right? Teachers had to very quickly adapt and get themselves online. Okay, so that was about survival, wasn't it? What do we need to do to survive this COVID, right? What do we need to do to survive it in terms of our business surviving? Okay, we need to get ourselves online because the studio that I've been teaching at has just closed its doors. So your ability, and we've seen this practically happen, right? Your ability to adapt quickly is crucial. You really need to have this open mind that embraces change and be willing to make any necessary adjustments that you need to make in your business, because we never know what might change in the external environment around us. The economy, changing consumer tastes and habits and behaviors. Like, there's so many external forces that are at play. And so, as well as being ready and willing to adapt, when needed, what's another thing that we can do? We can prepare for it. Okay, we can prepare, because in order to really thrive, we don't want to just survive here. We want to thrive, right? We want to build businesses that make us really happy and give us freedom and, help us feel like we're thriving. We're supporting our students, they're getting amazing results, and we're thriving. In order to do that, we need to be proactive in our business as a business owner. Okay, we need to look internally at our business and really look at the business model that we currently have. So share with me in the chat, what is your business model right now? What is your business model? Do you know what your business model is? Yeah, so is it an in-person business model? Are you reliant on another business, okay, such as a yoga studio? Okay, does your business, as it is right now, does it revolve around you teaching in studios? Is that your business model, you teaching in studios? Because if that's what it is, okay, if you're reliant on another business, i.e. the yoga studio, what happens when that business closes down? Okay, you're putting your business in danger. And so it's important to become strategic about your business model. And your business model is made up of your product strategy, right? If your business model is you teaching in a yoga studio, your product strategy is drop-in classes, but they're not actually your drop-in classes. They're another yoga studio's drop-in classes, okay? So another business model could be that you teach in person in community halls. Okay, so you're not dependent on a yoga studio. You've actually taken it a step further and you've created your own business, right? Your own business in the sense of those yoga classes, you are receiving all of the income from those yoga classes. Okay, you're not being paid by a yoga studio to teach, you're receiving the income directly from your clients, from your students. Okay, so that could be another business model. Again, it's what's limiting you there is the space in the community hall. If the community hall only allows for 10 mats, your capacity for income, your ceiling for income for that class is capped. Okay, so it's important to really look at, what is my business model and what's my product strategy? Is my product strategy a drop-in yoga class? Okay, so I've got my community hall, and my product strategy, my product that I'm offering, right, my product is the offering, is the drop-in yoga class. Okay, so are you offering something that is scalable? Okay, by that I mean it doesn't require you to exchange your time for money. Okay, so if you go into a yoga studio, you're giving them an hour of your time and they're paying you in exchange. They're paying you for that time. So those of you who are dependent on yoga studios, so Jessica and Barb, how much are you being paid for that hour? If we're going to become more strategic, we're looking at the external environment. We're thinking about what's happened the last few years. We are in acceptance that we need to be willing and ready to adapt and change, but also in order to protect ourselves, we need to be proactive. Okay, we need to be proactive about our business model and what we offer. How can we protect ourselves in that way? And one strategy that really will set you up for survival is, of course, being online. Okay, it's more sustainable, right? So this is the product strategy that I'm sharing with you today. It's the online product strategy. What does it look like? You know, it looks like online courses, online programs, memberships that allow you to reach more people on a global scale. Okay, and it takes that ceiling away, doesn't it? So when I talked about the community hall that only has the space for 10 mats, it takes that ceiling away. What I'm not saying is just go and teach online. I'm not saying that. You know, we love to connect with our students on a one-to-one basis, don't we? So definitely keep doing that. You know, if that's really lighting you up, but look at where you can add an online product into your business model to protect yourself and to prepare yourself and to give you that additional income stream. And if you've been in this community for any length of time, you've heard it from me, right? You've heard me talk about this. And, you know, maybe it's imposter syndrome, right? It's playing mind games with you, bombarding you with like 1,000,001 reasons why you shouldn't do this, like why you shouldn't create an online course. Things like, you know, our minds start to play games. I'm not good enough. I don't have the time. I don't have the expertise. My audience isn't large enough. You know, there's many reasons we can tell ourselves why not to do something. And those things are just lies. They're little fibs, really, you know, that we tell ourselves. Why do we tell ourselves these things, guys? Why do we give ourselves all these excuses to not do something? Why? To keep ourselves comfortable, right? To stay comfortable, to stay stuck where we are right now. Yeah, because that's the comfortable place that we know. But if you're here in this community learning about business, you're a go-getter, right? I know my audience really well. You need to know your audience really well. You need to know everything about them. And you're a go-getter. You want to learn about how you can expand your business, how you can reach more people. And so you know deep down that there's potential, you have potential. And it's really time to start to fully understand how to, you know, unlock that for yourself so that you can build a business that will survive any future uncertainties. We're not doing this for the month of July, you know, we're not doing it for the month of August or the month of September. We're doing this because we want to support our students and we love yoga. We've all benefited from it. We know how impactful and powerful it is, and we want to spread that with more people. Okay, so how can we spread that to more people? How? Online, of course. You know, being online opens up so many opportunities for you. It really does. So I'm going to share with you now 7 reasons why, okay, if what I've shared for you already isn't enough to convince you that this is, a strategic business a strategic business decision that allows you to actually build a yoga business that will last. So let's jump into it. 5 reasons. So the first reason for you is that it helps you to achieve work-life balance, right? We crave this, don't we? We all know this buzzword. And, for me, myself, I graduated as a yoga teacher in 2015. And when I left my corporate career, my corporate marketing career behind and closed that door, I thought I was breaking free from this kind of 9-to-5 grind by setting up my yoga business. And of course, I loved what I was doing. I was teaching yoga in London, and I was, running events, and I started running retreats as well. And I loved what I was doing. I loved the community I was building, but I was teaching a lot of classes. I was, running around town to different venues. I wasn't teaching in studios. So those 2 models that I talked about, I was looking for my own venues and setting up classes. And over time, I started to build a little teaching team who were teaching some of the classes under my brand, under my business, under my yoga brand, Good Yoga Life. And I was running events every weekend. Like, it was successful, but there was a hustle and grind involved. And of course, it wasn't the same hustle and grind that I was seeing of my yoga teacher friends who were doing the studio classes, right? They were having to teach like 20 classes a week. I was running events that were bringing in a good portion of income into my business. And I started running retreats. That was, again, bringing in a good portion in. However, I was still capped. When you have 14 spaces on a retreat, that's it. You have 14 spaces on a retreat. And so I was still capped. And the way that, you as a yoga teacher can really shift from this, hustle and grind is to create an offering that isn't capped. When you do that, you can actually find some freedom to enjoy your life, to enjoy actually teaching, to have time to do your own practice, right? We hear that a lot, don't we? That I don't even have time for my own practice. And, to serve your kind of audience on a much bigger scale. So it is a game changer when it comes to, actually creating that work-life balance and having the time to do the things that you love, right? I always say I built a yoga business to give me the time to do the things that I love. Yeah, now I have the time to do the things that I want to do. So it's great. It takes time, of course, but it's a game changer in that respect. And, number 2 is that it's linked to this, really. It's about freedom and flexibility, because not only, does having an online business grant me this work-life balance, yeah, but it's also given me the ticket to ultimate freedom and flexibility. And I'm not just talking about financial freedom. Of course, that's a perk. We'll talk about that in a moment. But also, the power to work from anywhere that I wish to work. Right now I live in Bali, and which is a wonderful place to live, but I'm not like stuck. And I'm not stuck in it. I mean, my very last corporate marketing job, I was head of marketing at a tech startup, and our office was in a basement. There wasn't even daylight, so I'm no longer like stuck to a desk somewhere. I can literally work from the beach if I want to. And so, it gives you the power to do that. It gives you the power to travel. If you want to disconnect completely and forget about work for a while, you can do that as well when you have online courses. A caveat here is that I'm saying it takes time to get to that. Last year, after 5 years of doing this and being in this space, I took 6 weeks off. I went back to the UK to see my family and friends for the first time since I'd moved out to Bali. I took 6 weeks off, guys. I'd never done anything like that before. So, these dreams, they're not just wishful thinking. They can really become like tangible plans. I'm planning this year to also be able to take a month off. And so of course, doesn't happen in the beginning, but it's something that can definitely happen because this business model sets you up to enable you to be able to do that, right? It sets you up for that. And so, you have the power to really create your own schedule, like whatever that might look like for you. Okay. I'm sharing my experience. You might be thinking, I don't want to go and work from the beach, or I don't want 6 weeks off. It's fine. Whatever it looks like for you, being able to take time off when you need it. Maybe you have a family and children. You want to spend more time with them in the summer holidays, right? And not have to be grinding away. You want to be able to maybe get some cover for your in-person classes, and know that you have an online membership that has passive income. Know that you have an upcoming live launch of your new 6-week program, in a couple of months' time. So it gives you that freedom to now actually take some time off with your kids. So there's many benefits in terms of like freedom, flexibility, work-life balance. And I just wanted to start with those ones, right? Because they're the personal benefits to us. Number 3 is passive income. Okay. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this one. Like when you first launch your online course, it's not going to magically start pouring in this, income that you're making in your sleep overnight. Like that's not going to happen. However, when you've done this, a good few times, and I mean, you have had at least 3 successful launches, right? You might have had 3 unsuccessful launches before you start being successful with this. There is definitely a process of launching, learning, refining, launching, learning, refining. And those of you in the Profitable Yoga Teacher program, this, right? You learn the process, you learn the steps and the framework, but each of your businesses are unique. And you have to learn what is going to work for your audience. Okay, so that is a lesson in learning, listening, getting feedback, getting insight, tweaking, optimizing, refining, relaunching, and going through that process until you get it right. And so I did this, in the beginning, I spent a whole year launching different things, trying different things out, testing, seeing what messaging was working. It takes some time to do that. But when you've done that, you're armed with that knowledge to take it to the next level, which is evergreen. Okay. So in my business, that looks like Yogipreneur Launchpad. Okay. Which is for those of you who are just starting out on this online journey and you want to learn about marketing. Essentially, you want to get those foundations in place. Yogipreneur Launchpad is our 16-week program, and you can come into it any day of the week, any day of the year, right? Any day of the year, you can enroll and you'll be straight in the program, and you will start your 16 weeks with the live support every week and the Facebook group and so on. So it's an evergreen course. It didn't start out that way. It's actually had many iterations. It was called something different. It looked different. It's changed. It's evolved to what it is today. So this means your evergreen course is something that's open for enrollment all year round. And before, as I said, like before you put it onto Evergreen, because most people want to create a course, put it straight onto Evergreen, right? So we see the bright lights of passive income that we're just rushing. We want it straight on Evergreen. It's a big mistake. It's a huge mistake. You have to make sure that your live launch for that course is a smashing success, that your emails are converting, your sales page is converting like crazy before you put it onto an evergreen funnel. Okay. So, and when you do, then you have income flowing into your business, into your bank account when you're sleeping, right? You do, and you can do whatever you want, whatever floats your boat, basically. If you want to be working at the beach, you can do that. So it's that kind of like financial security that really sustains you for the long run in that sense. Number 4, okay, which leads on from what I've just been speaking about, passive income, is about uncapped earning potential. Okay, and I've talked about this already, lifting the ceiling. So we've got the community hall with the 10 mats, which is capped earning potential. Okay, so if it's like £10, $10 a mat, $10 a class, your earning potential is $100 capped. And for those of you who are teaching in studios, or maybe you have private clients, right? You already know the struggle of your income being limited by the number of hours that you put in. Okay, so it's kind of like this never-ending cycle, right, of needing to work more hours to make more money. And of course, you know, you can bump up your rates, but eventually you're going to hit a wall. Okay, so there's only so many hours in a day, right? We can't magically create more time. Okay, and you know, that's where the issue lies, isn't it? You know, you want to increase your income, but you're limited to the number of hours in the day, and also our energy levels, right? Tell me, if you're teaching in studios, what's the maximum number of classes that you teach in a day? Of course, you know, there's a lot of work involved in setting up your online business, creating a community, building an online course that you then launch. There's a lot of work there, right? But in order to get the thing at the end, which ultimately is the freedom, the flexibility, we can't expect that it's going to be really easy, can we? We can't expect it's going to be really easy. And what you have to do is ask yourself, is right now, what you're doing right now, teaching however many classes, juggling home life, family life, is that easy? Is that easy, you know? Or do we think, okay, well, that's not really that easy for the long term. Do I really want to be doing this for the long term? Or do I make time to chip away at learning how to do this online piece? Because in the long term, that's the thing that's going to give me the flexibility and the freedom that I really crave. Does that make sense? So there's some sacrifice to make, right? There's sacrifices. And I was speaking to one of my friends about this yesterday. We were talking about it. Someone said, oh, you're so lucky. I'm like, this isn't luck. This is not luck. This is early mornings, 5 a.m., you know, for a good number of years, working until midnight. You know, my friend used to call me Maggie Thatcher because she used to have 4 hours sleep a night. And she, you know, my nickname was literally Maggie. You know, I was putting everything into my business, everything. It means sacrificing things at weekends with my friends. It meant, you know, making sacrifices, basically, you know, like not doing the social things that I would have loved to have been doing because I was focusing on my business. You know, it takes a lot, you know, it takes a lot of grit, commitment. It takes a lot. Okay. It does take a lot, but it's doable. It's doable. And so, you know, it goes back to what I said. Are we doing this for the month of July, or are we doing this because we want to be teaching for years and years and years to come? So the pain, if you want to call it that, of learning something new, stepping out of our comfort zone, right? You know, learning how to do this online thing, creating the course, launching the course, going through that process of learning, optimizing, launching again, you know, it's a lot of work. But actually, in the long run, you know, if we think about what our 5-year plan is, 5 years can come and go very quickly. It's worth it. You know, it's totally 100% worth it. Okay. Number 5, we'll move on to number 5. So number 5 is really about your credibility, right? Your credibility and expert status is what number 5 is about. So to have an online course, you don't have to be this like ultimate guru, okay, but having an online course actually positions you as an expert in the topic. Okay, so it actually elevates your expert status, your authority to a whole new level. And you know, you're sharing knowledge. So you're really kind of establishing yourself as this trusted authority on this particular topic. So this is a really great benefit for you, right? To have this. Imagine someone coming onto your website and they see that you've got drop-in classes, you know, versus coming onto your website and they see you've got your membership, a subscription, an online course on these specific topics that they're interested in. Who are they going to think is the expert here? Okay, so you really gain credibility by going through this and actually going through the process of creating an online course, you're going to learn so much about everything as well that you're putting into your course. And of course, you know, your goal is to get your students to the finish line and to help them to achieve the transformation that they're looking for. That's solid proof. When you do that, that is solid proof that you know your stuff. Okay. So, this links on to number 6, which is actually about your growth, right? Your growth as an entrepreneur. And as I said a moment ago, part of this is you learn so much. Like when you're going through the process of creating an online course on a specific topic, you're going to know everything that there is about that topic by the end of it. Yeah, you'll go into it obviously with a lot of knowledge, because you wouldn't have chosen that topic if you didn't have the knowledge. But when you start diving into what you want to share with your audience, you're going to become a real expert in that area. Not only that, you know, in terms of your professional development, this is a journey, right? It's a journey for you, because you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, and it's going to push you. It's going to challenge you to, you know, create an amazing online course that people are going to actually want to buy. So there's a lot that you're going to learn, right? You're going to become really well versed in marketing, content creation, building communities, so much. Yeah, lots of skills there, lots of skills. So the final benefit really is about sustainability. Okay, so this goes back to what I said. We're not just building a business for the month of July. We want to build a sustainable business that really sets us up for the long haul. And your online course is your secret weapon in doing that. You know, this is about long-term success. This is not overnight success, which, by the way, doesn't exist. This is an online digital asset that you're building that's the scalable product in your business. It has the potential to really grow and expand your business. Okay. And it puts you in the CEO seat of your business, right? It gives you more time to really focus on the bigger picture, right? The strategy. You know, it's about working smarter. Like, this is going to allow you to build something that grows quite quickly. Like when you get it up and running and you have all the pieces in place, you can grow quite quickly, you know, and that's when you're going to then start building a team, which then enables you to grow even more. You know, it's the catalyst really that can allow you to really take your business in, you know, a new direction, take it to new heights. And ultimately, this is about empowering you to be proactive. Okay, so coming full circle to what we talked about in the beginning, your online course empowers you to be proactive rather than reactive. Yeah, it gives you the ability to steer your business towards that long-term success. Yeah, to survive and to thrive, right? To survive anything that's thrown at you, but ultimately to thrive, you know, to thrive, to give you that freedom, flexibility, you know, uncapped potential, income potential, serving audiences all around the world, increasing your reach, allowing your students, so this is a bonus benefit reason why you should do this, allowing your students to work with you in a deeper way. Yeah, helping them to get more transformation in their lives. That's what your online course can really do, you know, in terms of the impact that you create in people's lives. You know, it's not about just the impact that you create in your own life. How are you impacting your students? Your online course can really allow you to provide that higher level of impact that people really need right now in this world, this crazy world that we're living in. So there you have it, guys. Thank you for being here with me. If you have any questions, at all, please reach out to me. If you're still growing your community, come and join us inside Yogipreneur Launchpad. You can start today, as I said, and that's going to set you up with the basis, the foundation. And then if later in the year you want to learn how to launch an online course, we will be launching the Profitable Yoga Teacher program later this year. Okay, that's not an evergreen program. It's launched twice a year. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I'm going to love you and leave you, and see you all next week. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.